What's going on, world? Gamster here, coming at you for another video today. We're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super, episode 99. It starts off right after episode 98. We are talking about everyone is in shock. Everyone has like a holy shit moment on their minds of what just happened with Zeno erasing everyone. Supreme Kai is in sweat. He says he cannot feel Seizure or Supreme Kai 9's energies. We says that's normal. He says if her area gets erased, and Beerus is in shock, and so is one of the fighters. Goku and Vegeta are looking at one another. Goku says I never thought they'd erase it that quick. He says we've seen Aaron timeline get erased before, which they're talking about the future Trunks timeline. Vegeta says yes, and Goku says that's why we need to. He says we need to keep fighting. He says I'm gonna be the last one standing. Vegeta looks at him. He says yeah, right. He says if anyone's gonna be the last one standing, it's gonna be me, Vegeta. Then you have Beerus. All the gods, they got like an oh shit look on their face, and you even see where Supreme Kai is going. He says the reason why this Universe 9 fell is because they were reckless and they were in a hurry. He says that's why it fell. Everyone's going to be rethinking their strategies. He says everyone's going to be crazy. And then you have everyone looking in Choppa's like in disarray, and you have Vados going, oh Choppa, she's like, I'm gonna miss you so much. And he says, what are you talking about, Vados? She says, well, and he says don't you do that. He says you're not worried because you're not gonna get erased. She says, well, you better have words that's gonna be able to fight for you now, won't you? She's like being real, like a real ass and smart ass about it. So I was like, damn, that's harsh. Then you see 18 and 17, they're looking at one another, and he says, you seem cranky. She says, well, after you see Universe get erased, she says you're gonna be a little rattled. He says, well, you seem different. She says, how's that? He says, you seem more human. He says, I like that. And she says, and he just looked at her. He says, well, he says, so we're Andor. He says, don't you think we need to use our infinite power and energy to survive more? She says, yeah, you got a point. And he says, yeah. And she's like, all right, let's let loose. So they start going. Then you see Krillin and everyone. Krillin's like, relax. He says, get a hold of yourself. And Piccolo's like, are you alright? You getting cold feet? And he says, no. He says, I just got routed. He says, after seeing a universe like that, he says, get erased that quickly. He says, it gets to you. And Gohan's like, yeah, that's to be expected after seeing something like that. He says, you're going to be going crazy. And even Tien and Master Roshi agrees, and so does Piccolo. And Piccolo goes, yeah, he says, if anyone attacks us, so we're going to thrash them. Then you see Belzenos. They're looking at one another going, well, yeah, why is everyone stopping? They need to fight. And the Grand Priest says, yeah, they'll be fighting shortly. Fighters are getting ready to fight. Then you see Frieza looking up at both Zenos. He says, you call for little brats. He says, being as so-called innocent they are and as deadly as they are, he says, it vexes me. He says, I'm not going to allow you to rule over me forever. He says, I'm going to rule over you one day. So Frieza is wanting to rule over both Zenos. Then you see where we saying, he says, time ain't going to last for everyone. And then you see the Grand Priest talking again, saying that fighters are already going. You see Hit, you see Magetta, and Vegeta looks, he says, Kakarot, don't waste your power on these guys. He says, yeah, you two don't play around. And you see Vegeta saying, because I'm going to get payback for this universe. He says, alright, let's go. He goes Super Saiyan. He goes after him, and next thing you know, Magetta gets in front of Hit vanishes, and next thing you know, he starts fighting him, and Vegeta is able to land a whole bunch of punches, but he's able to absorb it. And then after that happens, he starts using different techniques. He's about ready to throw him. He's not going to work. He says, I know. He ties his arms, and he starts carrying him, and he's like, all right, Vegeta, toss his ass over, and he's like, he's timeout. Vegeta's like, the hell with your timeout. He's, I'm going to throw you over the damn edge. And then you have where Matamo, Choppa tells Matamo to go help him. He knocks Vegeta, and they start going, and then Vegeta is about ready to attack, but Beerus says he goes to insult, start dissing him, so he starts calling him every name in the book, like you metalhead, you tin can, and then Choppa's like, you really think that was going to work on us again? He says, we overcome that mental capacity, and you have Magetta over Matamo's ears, so they can't hear. He starts attacking him. Vegeta's like, of course. He says, y'all ain't even a team. He says, that ain't going to work. So he starts fighting them. He tells them, Magetta, get off of Mahito, and then he starts fighting off. He says, I don't know how we're going to do this. And then you have 18 starts fighting a warrior from Universe 4, and you have a bird-like creature goes after Gohan, Krillin. He shoots a thing at Krillin. Gohan deflects it. He says, we need to work together. Krillin's like, you're right. And then Piccolo and all them, Piccolo takes his training clothes off, and they start fighting. Krillin gets in one area. He gives him a 4 or 5 destructive discs comes out of 1 and goes into 4, and the bird-like creature ducks and gets 1 hit, and then Master Roshi gets a Kamehameha, knocks the creature off, and then you see Whis looking, and he says, looks like 18's doing well, and you see Universe 10, the fighter, and you see Universe 10 God, the elephant. He starts saying, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? You weren't supposed to lose. He says, I'm sorry. And you see 18 beating the crap out of Universe 4 from Grutilla's world, a wolf-like creature, and then she says, maybe I went too rough, and you see Elder Kai going, if she killed him, then she's going to get disqualified. And then the wolf-like creature wakes up. He starts blasting her with Ki Blast. Grutilla's like, that's what he does. Then you see where she's about ready to get rained out. Krillin saves her, and she looks, and he uses a Kai Blast to get himself out back onto the stage. He says, I don't like you, 18, and she says, where is he? He's right over there, and she says, thanks, and he starts laughing, and she says, don't laugh, and he says, how about some payback? And she says, yeah, and you see Beerus going, go you two, get some double revenge. And he looks at her, and the one that knocked almost 18 out, he tells her, he says, I would hate to breed up that pretty little face. He says, how about y'all two just ring out? He says, y'all aren't going to be able to face me. And Krillin looks at 18, he says, you want to do that technique we did? She says, okay, let's go. So they start doing a technique, and after that happens, they start going back and forth, doing different moves, and then once that happens, they start doing a Ki Blast, one against the other, trying to have him dodge. Every time he dodges, he goes faster, gets bigger, and then finally it knocks him in the head, and then they go to a bit bigger Ki Blast, and they ring him out as well. And then we also have where, right when that happens, you see another warrior from Universe 4. He knocks Krillin out, and then you see 18. She knocks him right in the leg, and she knocks him. He says, good. He says, but you won't catch me off my game again. And then he says, I'm going to be able to fight you two. And then Krillin looks at 18. He says, here, put these on, which is Master Roshi's glasses. And Master Roshi said, where'd you get that? How, when, and where? And then he says, I'm going to be able to take you 2 out. He says, all right, come on. And so right when he attacks, Krillin does the solar flare technique times 100. It does not do anything. He knocks Krillin out as well as 18. He says, how come it did not work? He says, you do not realize I lost my sight years ago. He says, I am able to get through. He says, that's how. He says, well, then how were you able to do it? He says, take a guess. And 18 goes, scent. Since you lost your eyesight, one of your senses have gotten more astounding. He says, yes, you are correct. And he says, now I'm going to be able to take you both out. He says, don't even try. And Krillin says, don't worry, I got a plan to take care of this. And then he looks at 18. 18's like, well, what are you gonna do? He says, it's a secret plan. And he says, don't be talking trash talk, cases unless you want to get hurt. He says, I'm gonna ring you both out. Neither one of the plans are gonna help. He starts attacking Krillin with Ki Blast, and then as soon as Krillin's out of the way, Krillin gets on the floor, and next thing you know, he throws his shoe right at him. And as soon as that happens, it lands right on his nose. The stink is unbearable. He cannot handle it. He says, it stinks everywhere. Where is it? And then Krillin starts doing a Kamehameha wave, knocks him out, gets another Universe character out of the ring, and Beerus is going crazy. He says, nice couple work you two. He's pulling off Elder Kai's hair, and it's hilarious. And then you see Beerus going, nice job, that's what we need. You've been on fire. And Krillin kind of gets a little cocky. He says, yeah, Krillin's on top of the game today, giving a peace sign. And next thing you know, you see Frost. He goes, this is an industry. He knocks out Krillin out of the ring with his tail. He says, you were off guard. Krillin has now been eliminated from the tournament. 18's like, how dare you knock out Krillin, you bastard. And he says, you're not going to be able to get me that easy. And he disappears with a Ki Blast, and he's out of the way now. She says, you slippery bastard. So now Krillin's out, and he says, you got too damn cocky. He says, I'm sorry. And he says, and then you see older Kai, Supreme Kai looking at him. He says, you did your best, that's what counts. He says, I'm proud of you. And he says, your eyes are scary. And he's pretty much scared of Beerus and Supreme Kai by the looks they were giving him. And he says, I'm sorry. He says, you guys are just going to pick up my slack. I don't know what else to do. And Beerus is like, what's done is done. You just got to cheer everyone on. He says, again, he says, I guess you guys are going to pick up my slack. I'm sorry. That is how the episode ends. The episode was highly intense. I had a few issues with it. The issues I had was, of course, the shoe incident. I had issues with just some of the things that was coming up, like the way that they were trying to handle with everyone else's issues and mental capacity. Vegeta even was like, okay, this is bull, like how the hell is this happening? With the vials cracked, that was like oh my god, that was crazy, because she obviously does not respect Ciampa. Ciampa does not really respect her, so that was a little bit like you weren't ready for that. But you also saw from the Universe 9 Angel, he says, well, he said this is gonna happen. He says, I guess I'm out, and he just kind of was like all nonchalant about it. That's how that happened. So that's pretty much what happened in this episode, guys. And then next week we have Goku versus Khalifa in Super Saiyan 2 form. I'm going to be leaving a video for you guys for that, as well as Kale finally goes into transformation, and we're also going to be seeing some more. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel if you are new. It'd be much appreciated, as well as comment down below what you guys think about this review. Again, I'm sorry that it's late, got a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to try to upload as much as I can and then do as much views as I can. I'm on the road right now. I just moved. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. I don't know when I'm going to be able to get videos for you guys, but please just be patient. For anyone that's new to the channel, welcome to the channel. If you guys are not following me on Instagram and Twitter, go ahead and do so down below. Again, if you're welcome to the channel, say hi down below, and I'll get to you guys as quickly as I can. Okay? Have a good one, and see you later.